Okay. Hello, everyone. Today we are going to see OIT letter, and this is a letter of Mrs. Mandy Cheng. Now, the hospital name is Royal Brisbane and Cardiac Hospital, and the writer is a cardiac ward nurse. And now let's go ahead with the task. We can say, using the information in the case notes, write a letter to Elizabeth Robert, a cardiac rehabilitation nurse, for further management, exercise, and education. So we have to write the letter to Miss Elizabeth Robert, a cardiac rehabilitation nurse, for further management. So that's for exercise and education here in the Royal Brisbane Cardiac Hospital. So the same hospital, you are working in the same hospital. So you are writing to one of your co-worker, maybe in the same, you might know, you might not know. So that is the thing here. So this Royal Brisbane Cardiac Hospital, it's in Australia. And this is the thing that we are going to write. You have to, you're referring Mrs. Cheng to the cardiac rehabilitation nurse. That is Miss Elizabeth Robert here. Now let's say from the beginning, this is the case history of Mrs. Mandy Cheng, and now she's born in 1962, and she's a widow, and she has a niece as Melissa Garden as her on next of kin. And now physical exercise, she leads a sedentary life there. And when we go ahead, we can see that the past medical history as from type 2 diabetes mellitus since 2018. And she's on metformin 850 mg twice a day. And she's allergic to penicillin. So this is something we have written here. And now she was brought to the emergency department by the paramedical staff due to chest pain, sweating, shortness of breath and pain. And immediately she received aspirin 2 tablets at home. Now 118/80 pulse, all these things are there. Investigations, X-ray, CG, echo, all these things are there. Now 2 stents, she was shifted to the cath lab, and the percutaneous coronary intervention was made there. 2 stents was placed in the blocked coronary artery. And after 24 hours observation, she was found satisfactory. Her blood sugar was managed, and then she was shifted to the cardiac ward the next day. And she was advised to have the lipid profile fasting the coming morning. And now vitals were normal, SpO2, everything was normal, no pain, wound is clean and dry. But you know that you have some abnormalities in the fasting lipid profile. So you can see that, and now her current medication is there, and refer to cardiac rehabilitation nurse. So why are you writing to cardiac rehabilitation nurse? So you are writing to cardiac rehabilitation nurse for the reference. So here right now she is in the ward, she's not discharged. This is the thing here we need to take care. She is in she came to the hospital with the blocks, with symptoms. We have identified after a thorough investigation, we have identified that she had blockage, and we immediately send her to the cardiac, the cath lab, and there the procedure was done. the blocks. Now 2 stents were placed in the area. And now, right now, after 24 hours observation, she is discharged she is shifted to ward. Now, I have certain things here to remember, that you are writing to this particular person, Elizabeth Robert. She is a cardiac rehabilitation nurse, and she will come to this particular ward. Okay, so this is the hospital you are working, and this is the hospital she is working, or writing to her to come and visit her. This is the thing. So to come and visit her. So right now, where the patient is not discharged. The patient is not discharged. So I have to take care of this particular thing. The patient is not discharged. The patient is still there in the cardiac hospital, but she's continuing her medications, and she needs some particular service, that is exercise and education. So this is why we need cardiac rehabilitation. So I've got a model answer here. I need to edit this particular model answer. So 26 September, that is the date. Miss Elizabeth Robert, that is the addressee. Cardiac rehabilitation nurse, Royal Brisbane Hospital, PLD, Australia. Dear Miss Robert, yes. Reference Mrs. Mandy Cheng, date of birth 25 September 1962. Everything is clear. I'm writing to refer Miss Mandy Cheng, who has undergone a percutaneous coronary intervention following right coronary artery blockage. So her condition at present, because you are taking care, you are the cardiac rehabilitation nurse, you should know about the current condition of the patient. She has undergone recently, very recently, she has undergone this. Now you are writing on 26. So 23 night or 24 morning we had this thing, we had the surgery. So what, 2 or maximum 3 days we have. So the effect is still there. So that's why we use this particular has undergone. She has undergone a percutaneous coronary intervention following right coronary artery blockage. So she had a right coronary artery blockage. So who has undergone a percutaneous coronary intervention following this thing. So this is a question here. Can I write following coronary artery blockage? So that is a question here. I think that is not advisable to go ahead with following right coronary artery blockage. Instead, we have to do something else here. I'm writing to refer Mrs. Mandy Cheng, who has undergone percutaneous. Okay. Sorry. After confirming right coronary artery block. So we confirmed our coronary artery blockage, and then we underwent when we have undergone for the this particular intervention, percutaneous coronary intervention. And now what she requests cardiac rehabilitation and guidance regarding exercise. So now let me see whether she has guidance regarding exercise. Yeah, exercise and education, rehabilitation, exercise. Fine, it's clear. I don't think that we need to have to add education. The guidance is somewhat education. Rehabilitation, in the sense we are giving some sort of education. So I think that is enough there. No issues there. Ms. Cheng was brought to our emergency department. You are writing to a person who is in your own hospital. So our emergency department on 23rd of this month is September. I think, yes, it is September. So I am not repeating the month September. So 23rd of this month with suggestive symptoms of myocardial infarction. So what we have written like that, suggestive symptoms of myocardial infarction. So we have a lot of symptoms here. We can see that there. Yeah. Here it is. Brought to the emergency department by paramedic staff due to chest pain, sweating, shortness of breath, pain in the right hand shoulder, and at home. So patient received aspirin 2 tablets at home. So these are suggestive symptoms of myocardial infarction. So we can say that this is, I don't need to give every minute detail. The chest pain was there, sweating was there, because the procedure is over. We need to brief them. So the procedure is over. You are writing to a cardiac rehabilitation nurse, and she is concerned with the exercise, and she is concerned with the education. And these things are not that much relevant to that person here. So I have done that. Now I have to move ahead with this thing. Sorry. A series of blood and radiological investigations were done following her admission, which confirmed the blockage. Now I'll go back and see what is happening there. A series of radiological investigations. Okay, now we have investigations here. You can see chest X-ray, ECG, echo, electrolytes, troponin, LFT, RFT, and all these things. So we have radiological and blood investigations, other sorts of, a lot of investigations, series of investigations, including radiology and blood. This is that. And this confirmed her diagnosis. And that's confirmed the blockage. And immediately she was shifted to the cath lab. And there we placed 2 stents. Then she was there for 24 hours. Her condition was satisfactory. Her blood sugar was neutralized, stabilized. And then on 24th, she was shifted to the cardiac ward and advised the fasting lipid profile. This is what we can see here. Now I just go back to see the picture here. Let's see what is happening there. She was, therefore, she was immediately shifted to our cath lab. Again, our cath lab, it means in our hospital. And 2 stents were placed on the affected areas. Where the affected areas, I don't know. It's general, it's briefing. Her blood sugar level was stabilized for metformin, and she was shifted to the cardiac ward after 24 hours observation. Now, blood sugar level was stabilized. And she was shifted to the cardiac ward after 24 hours observation. So the history is briefed here. So what all things we have done before she came here to the ward. Now she is at the ward. Despite good prognosis at the ward, Ms. Cheng's fasting lipid profile showed elevated levels of cholesterol and triglycerides. Okay, I have to say cholesterol, triglycerides, and troponin I. So she has good prognosis in the ward. She has her vital signs normal, everything normal, but when she was assessed, when her lipid profile was assessed, this was the thing. Despite a good prognosis at the ward. So at the ward, in the sense, she was shifted to the ward. There, fasting lipid profile was taken. There, they found that these levels are elevated. The current medications include aspirin, clopidogrel, metformin, 8 all once a day. So why we need this particular data? Because you are writing to a rehabilitation nurse and she is going with the education. Now she is concerned with the medication. Yes, of course, she needs to know what medication she is taking because she needs to give education regarding the exercise and the diet and the further things too. So she needs to get a brief idea. So not a detailed idea. So aspirin 75 mg, clopidogrel, all once a day. That's it. We are not, we have other medicines also there. Atorvastatin, which was taken once. We are not telling anything about that. So the regular medications, just an idea, that's it. And one more thing is that she is allergic to penicillin. I have not included that thing here in this particular letter. So she is allergic to penicillin. Why? Because that is not relevant to that particular person. So she is supposed to give education and guidance, rehabilitative things. And she is not going to give her penicillin. So she is in the ward. These few nurses are responsible for giving her penicillin. So this is not an information which is to be known to the patient. No, to Elizabeth Robert, the person. Now about her thing, her brief social history. She is a widow and leads a sedentary life. This is very important. So you need to know about whether she is physically active or not. She is not physically active at all. She leads a sedentary life. And she has been taking her oral hypoglycemic drugs. That is metformin 850 mg. So that's what we have said, oral hypoglycemic drugs regularly since for type 2 diabetes. So she has been taking this thing since 2018. So a particular point of time, 2018, for type 2 diabetes. She has been taking this thing. Now, what is your role? It would be greatly appreciated if you could take over Mr. Cheng's care. Now, I think it is something wrong here. I cannot go ahead with this thing. You're not going to take over the care. You are coming and doing something. So I would be greatly appreciated if you could attend. So that is the better word. Attend Mr. Cheng care, Cheng, at the ward. So where you have to attend? At the ward. She is at the ward. And provide her further care and support to improve her condition. Provide her further care. Provide her what? I think further care and support. Is it further care and support? I need to provide her exercise and education. So I think provide her and educate her exercise. Educate her if you attend Mrs. Cheng's at her ward and provide her, yes, that's it. Provide her proper guidance and education regarding exercise to improve her condition. It would be greatly appreciated if you could attend Mrs. Cheng at her ward, and provide her proper guidance and education regarding exercise. Proper guidance and proper, I can say proper cardiac rehabilitative education, cardiac rehabilitative education and guidance regarding exercise. Yeah, now it's clear. If you could attend Ms. Cheng at her ward and provide her cardiac rehabilitative education and guidance regarding exercise to improve her condition. If you have any further queries regarding Mr. Cheng, please do not hesitate to contact me. Yours sincerely, cardiac ward nurse, Royal Brisbane Cardiac Hospital. So if you want this particular thing, you can, but I think that is not really needed because you are from the same hospital. So I think probably we don't need that. Okay, so that's it. We have come to the end of this particular session. So I can say that it's around 186 words here, the body paragraph of this particular letter. So that satisfies the word count. The format is okay. So we are giving information, relevant information, which is most relevant to the addressee, that is the rehabilitative nurse. Thank you, one and all.